this video, I'm going to be talking about my quarter here at UCLA online. So if you're interested in this and you want to hear my reflections, my goods, my harshes, and my goods, starting it off, with the whole hardships, one of the biggest hardships that I faced here was not having my own place to study. I know a lot of us don't have our place to study because in the first 8 weeks of this whole quarter, my grandma stayed with us. She came from Mexico to visit us. And, one of the things that would happen, at least in my living room, my uncles would come over on a daily basis. And whenever they come over, they'd be all loud and they'd be in the living room and I just couldn't really study. And I took matters into my own hands. I tried studying outside. I tried studying outside my hallway. I tried studying outside in my patio. I tried studying in my car. I even bought like a charger for my car, for my computer. And I tried that for several times. I guess I was trying to find the same environment that I had at UCLA, but little did I know that that's just not possible. You have to really understand that, every quarter has its own different things. You have to adapt differently. And that's one of the things that I realized like later in the quarter. I sort of, at the beginning of the quarter, it was hard for me to study, but I still attended all my lectures. I still did all these other things to try to combat it. But at the end of the day, the best place I could study was in that living room where it was noisy. When I commuted at UCLA last quarter, I didn't have as much family responsibility. Having said that, I would only go to UCLA for the whole day, then come back home until like 11. So there wasn't really much responsibility that I had to do here. But now that I stay here 24/7, sometimes I have to take my mom to the grocery store, or to go buy tortillas, or I have to go help them, move and drive. So it just took away some time out of my day, to help out my family and whatnot. And those things I really couldn't change. I have to help out my family. But family, they give me food, they give me everything. So that's just one of the things that I didn't want to neglect, because that's an important aspect of my life. But that was the hardship, was being able to balance my academics and my family responsibility. With this whole Zoom thing, it's a bit hard for you to sort of, if it was already hard in lecture to ask questions, it's even harder now to ask questions, because sometimes people would just type in a lot of things in the chat and then the professor will stop and then the professor would answer questions, then he'll fall behind and whatnot. And my professor fell behind for physics. It's not going to be perfect. It was only the first quarter. Obviously it's the first quarter for everybody. And that's one of the things that I told myself that I need to understand. I need to understand that it's the professor's first time teaching online, is our first time teaching online. So it was sort of like, although I was frustrated that all these things were going sort of wrong, I sort of realized that, it's not a perfect world. It's not going to be the same amount of education like if I was at UCLA in a classroom. Sometimes I'll sleep like at 2 a.m., sometimes I sleep at 11 p.m., sometimes I sleep at 12. But I think that came along with all these other factors. Like I said, I found myself falling asleep much earlier sometimes and much later sometimes, which was pretty bad. And that sort of resorted me to getting coffee all the time. Well, not all the time, but at least now I drink more coffee than that I used to. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now that we talked about all the hardships, let's talk about the good things. Some of the good things that happened this quarter. I ran 3 to 5 times a week. One of the main things that I did not do past quarter, I didn't really take care of myself as much, like in my health and whatnot. I didn't go for runs. I stopped going to the gym, and I was actually looking at old videos where I was looking kind of buff, I was looking kind of sore, and I was like, damn, I need to go back. But yeah, this whole quarter, I was just trying to sort of, see if I can try to run at least 3 to 5 times a week, and I did it. Another one of the things that I definitely wanted to focus on this quarter is putting myself first. I'm the type of person that sometimes I put others before me. And even though it's good, to care for other people, and it's a great and amazing feeling making other people feel good, I truly believe that in order for you to make someone feel amazing, or to maximize your happiness that you put onto other people, you have to maximize the happiness that you have towards yourself, the happiness that you have towards the things that you want to do and the things that make you happy. And that's what I literally did this quarter. I put myself first over anybody else. If I was unable to, if sometimes I wanted to sort of just sit back, relax, not really check my phone for a day or 2 days, I would just not message anybody. I'll put my phone on airplane mode, so just do the things that made me happy. I went back to YouTube. I started filming videos, because looking at my old videos, I was like, damn, like this is one of those things that make me happy, you know, just sharing my experiences, and creating content, you know, even if it's just like speaking, or, you know, even if it's a vlog, you know, I miss it. And yeah, I started working on my own projects, you know, like I said, I started my own Zoomcast. I talked to certain consultants here at Startup UCLA. I talked to certain people on LinkedIn. I connected with new faces. I attended different workshops, and workshops that I was interested in. And, you know, I didn't let my education or my academics get in the way of it. You know, usually I use that as an excuse to not go to certain events or certain workshops. But there was a lot of workshops going on, and I made sure I attended each and every single one of them that I wanted to join and whatnot. And last thing, I got into my major. I finally declared my major, so that's like the biggest highlight of my whole thing. These past 3 years, I've been undeclared. I was undeclared physical sciences. You guys know I tried engineering. You guys know I tried business economics. You guys know I tried all these other things. But yeah, my major is officially AOS in mathematics. I chose that major because it has mathematics, and it's gonna get me to graduate on time. You know, I had never taken any AOS course before in the past, but just allow me to graduate on time and prevent any financial, you know, difficulties in the future. It's definitely gonna help me, and that's why I chose that major. One quick note on everything going on in the world: just stay safe. Make sure you support one another. Make sure you're there for one another, especially during these times. Because although one of us cannot make a huge difference, all of us together can change the world for the better. Yeah, I'm gonna go and edit this video because it's probably gonna go up tomorrow. All right, thank you. Have a good day.
They might happen in 4 years, they might happen in 10 years. But like I said, that's how life is. And I think that's what life makes life beautiful, that I don't know what's gonna happen. Being a millionaire, I know I'll get there. You know, I'm ready. I feel like I've been through certain things in my life, and if I've overcome those things, what makes me stop now? I'm gonna continue